Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of July 5th. Monday was a holiday, so the City Council didn't meet this week, which means we don't have any meeting-related items to talk about. But I wanted to take a few minutes today to catch up on some of the everyday happenings going on in the city of Bloomington. The nuts and bolts stuff, the nitty-gritty, the blocking and tackling, whatever metaphor you'd like to use. I want to talk today about the stuff that doesn't always get called out, but that certainly deserves some attention. Summerfest on July 3rd was an enormous success. Be sure to check out the many great photos on social media, including some incredible pictures of the fireworks. Now, there were thousands of people there, so yes, Summerfest gets attention. But I wanted to give a shout out to the folks who made it happen. We couldn't host Summerfest last year because of the pandemic, and to be honest, we didn't think we'd be able to do it again this year because of crowd size limitations. But when Governor Walz announced on May 6th that restrictions would be loosened, we saw the opportunity to host Summerfest, and everybody jumped into action. Now, keep in mind, planning for Summerfest typically begins around the first of the year. That's a full 6 months to get ready. Bloomington Park and Rec staff organized and planned this year's celebration in less than 8 weeks. And this while they were already busy finishing up the park system master plan, planning for summer recreation and activities, and getting the Bloomington Aquatic Center ready to be open after a year of being closed. For a variety of reasons, there were a lot of cities across Minnesota that didn't host their annual July 4th celebrations or do fireworks. Bloomington Park and Rec staff understood how important it was to bring the community together to celebrate after a very difficult 16 months. And celebrate we did. I can't remember bigger crowds at Summerfest, and the number of people who enjoyed the fireworks was massive. It was a big undertaking by park staff, park maintenance, our public safety personnel, the communications department, and so many others at City Hall. They did a fantastic job, and I can't say thank you enough for the work they did to make Summerfest a reality. Last week, the Minnesota Department of Transportation announced that the 494 Airport to Highway 169 project received $60 million from the U.S. Department of Transportation's Infrastructure for Rebuilding America grant program. That is a really big deal. Now, if you're thinking, wait a minute, I thought that this project was already a go. Well, you're partially right. The 494 project received about $200 million in state funding a few years ago, and planning and public meetings are already underway. But the truth is, to complete the entire project from 169 to the airport, and to do it right, still requires at least another $250 million. And when I say do it right, I mean to do a project that will ensure a smooth ride and improve safety, decrease congestion, especially during rush hour, and help with stormwater management. Now, Bloomington played a really big role in securing the initial project funding, and since then, we've been persistently agitating and pushing for additional funding. And frankly, not just for Bloomington improvements. This isn't a Bloomington project. This is a regional project which will benefit all of Minnesota. Recent funding successes can be attributed to our strong partnerships and active advocacy work with cities up and down the 494 corridor, with Hennepin and Dakota County, with the Met Council, the airport, MnDOT. All of that work led to this big funding boost for this much-needed project. A big hats off and a thank you to our federal partners in Washington, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Senator Tina Smith, and Representative Dean Phillips, and thank you to our local partners at MnDOT for their incredible work in securing this funding. You can find out more at the MnDOT website. Okay, let's talk about weeds, specifically noxious weeds like poison ivy and Canadian thistle. The week of June 28th, a resident reported seeing poison ivy at the Bloomington off-leash recreation area for dogs. There was a big patch of poison ivy along a trail in the park, and for the safety of everyone, both human and canine, the area was fenced off and closed. According to the Minnesota Department of Agriculture, weeds that are on the state's noxious weed list, yes, they do have one, and that are along public trails must be eradicated, and that falls to the city. Now, it won't surprise you to hear that controlling poison ivy by hand pulling is not recommended. No great surprise. And because the plants in the dog park are in a wooded area, mowing also wasn't an option. So park maintenance staff decided that the best approach was to treat the poison ivy with a target-specific selective herbicide. They treated the area on July 1st, and the area will remain closed for as long as a couple of weeks to allow time for the herbicide to work. This was the best solution for this problem, but it's not the only tool park maintenance staff has in their toolkit. They use an integrated approach to manage noxious plants and pests and they get good results through various cultural, biological, and chemical controls. These folks are sharp, and they know the life cycles, the environmental requirements, and the natural enemies of the weed or the pest that they're targeting. This way, they can control the problem while keeping public safety at the forefront of their work. When a chemical treatment is necessary, like it was in this case, the most target-specific and least toxic formulas are chosen to minimize impact to human health and the environment. I've talked in the past about Bloomington's very successful pavement management program for decades to preserve and extend the life of city streets. A very important part of that program is a process called seal coating, and city crews have been very busy this summer seal coating streets across the city. Here's a map of all the streets that have been or will be seal coated this summer. Now, if you've seen seal coating in your neighborhood, you know that it's a very choreographed dance of trucks and other heavy equipment. But it really is a pretty straightforward process. First, crews do a thorough sweeping of the street. Then they apply a coating of hot oil that's been heated to about 165 degrees. Once the oil is down, crews apply a coating of small aggregate rock, and then they roll it flat and smooth and sweep again to pick up the excess rock. Again, a pretty simple process, but it does a great job preserving the streets in Bloomington and extending the life of the pavement. If you see crews in your neighborhood doing seal coating, be sure to say hi and to thank them for their work. And please, slow down through the work zone, both for the safety of our workers and to keep those little pebbles from getting kicked up. After being closed for almost 16 months, Thursday, July 8th is the official reopening date for Creekside Community Center. And I know a lot of people are very excited about that. Some of the times of operation and services offered have changed, but it's still Creekside, and the staff can't wait to welcome residents back. One other popular event making a return later this summer is National Night Out. Mark your calendars for Tuesday, August 3rd as the night to bring together your neighbors, to promote police-community partnerships, and to build the camaraderie that makes our neighborhoods safer and more welcoming. The deadline to register your party and ensure a visit by one of Bloomington's finest is Tuesday, July 20th. You can do it online. Looking forward to seeing everyone in August. Okay, that is plenty of information for this Council Minute. Thanks for sticking with me. I will see you next week, and until then, stay safe, Bloomington.